there, fantasy owners. Welcome to Lift the Cup Fantasy, or LTC Fantasy as some call it. And today's our Week 25 strategy episode. We're going to look at the week's NHL schedule to hopefully find that advantage and get you the piece or pieces to help you secure that fantasy win. Some things to note this week. Light nights are Monday, there's only one game. Wednesday, there's 4 games. Friday, there's only 2 games. And Saturday, 6 games. The other nights this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, are really heavy, having anywhere from 12 to 14 games. Do note that Montreal and Winnipeg are the only 2 teams that play on 3 of the 4 off nights. So do pay special attention to them. It is a 2-game week only for Vancouver. And there's a number of teams that have 4 games this week, including Buffalo, Detroit, Minnesota, Montreal, Nashville, the Islanders, Philly, San Jose, St. Louis, Toronto, and Winnipeg. Since Montreal and Winnipeg are the only teams that play on Monday and Wednesday, we will cover them first. Then we will cover the remaining Wednesday teams, defensemen and forwards. We won't cover Friday and Sunday, as we will cover that later on in the week in our weekend ads episode. And then we will finish it off by covering the remaining 4-game teams, defensemen and forwards, to maximize that value when you are adding a player, making sure you're getting them for more than 1 game. Remember to look in the description, because there I will mention where in the episode to find the Montreal Winnipeg defensemen and forwards, the remaining Wednesday defensemen and forwards, and the other 4-game defensemen and forwards. Don't forget to subscribe. That way, if you need to come back to the video based on roster needs, injuries, etc., it's a lot easier to find. So we will get right into it. Some Montreal and Winnipeg defensemen here. Look at Chris Weidman from Montreal. He's only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that third pairing and first power play unit, and he's been really good of late, having 8 points in his last 6 games. Moving over to Winnipeg, look at Josh Morrissey. He's owned in 65% of Yahoo leagues, so his ownership is up there, but he definitely does a little bit of everything. Plays in the first pairing, first power play unit. In the last 7 games, he has 4 points, so over half point per game. But in those 7, he's also had 18 shots on goal, 18 hits, and 14 blocks. Another defenseman from Winnipeg is Nate Schmidt. He's only owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that third pairing and second power play unit, and he's missed 3 games with injury, but he did come back last game and did get an assist. Some Montreal and Winnipeg forwards to look at. Definitely look at Cole Caulfield. Hell of a second half here. He's listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that top line, top power play unit, and he's scored in 3 straight games now, and in those games he has 3 goals and 1 assist for 4 points. Another one from Montreal's Rem Pitlick, listed as a center, left wing, and right wing, so you can slot him in either of your forward ranks. Only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line with Caulfield and Suzuki and the second power play unit, and he has 4 points in his last 6 games. Forward to look at from Winnipeg is Paul Stastny, listed as center left winger, only owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues. He's back up on that top line and second power play unit, and with the added ice time, he's put up 3 points in his last 5 games. So we'll look at some defensemen that play on Wednesday, excluding Winnipeg and Montreal. Do note, out of these, Philadelphia is the only team out of these players that do have 4 games this week. So we'll start with them. Look at Ivan Provorov, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top pairing and top power play unit. With that, he's done really well. 4 points in the last 4 games, and he's thrown up 15 shots on goal and 15 blocks. Going over to Seattle, look at Vince Dunn. He's only owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top pairing and top power play unit. Yes, he's been pointless the last 5 games, but before that he put up 8 points in a 7-game stretch, so he really is their best option with Giordano out. One to look at in Colorado's Bowen Byram. He's back from his concussion. He was only owned in 20% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that third pairing and second power play unit. As they're easing him in from the concussion, I do see his ice time and pairing changing, but he has put up 11 points in 18 games this year. Going over to LA, look at Sean Dursey. He's owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top pairing and top power play unit, and with LA's back end absolutely decimated, he's definitely been getting a ton of ice time. He's put up 6 points in his last 8 games to go along with 24 blocks, so even some added value there. Another one from LA to take a look at is Alex Edler. He's only owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues. Yes, he's older than dirt. Plays on that third pairing, but he has put up 4 points in the last 4 games, so might be worth streaming on a light night. We'll look at some forwards now that play on Wednesday, excluding Montreal and Winnipeg. Again, Philly does have 4 games this week, so we'll start with some forwards there. Look at Kevin Hayes. Listed as a center, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second line and second power play unit, and he's currently on a 4-game point streak where he has 1 goal and 4 assists for 5 points. Another one to look at from Philly's Joel Farabee, listed as center, left wing, and right wing, owned in 20% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line and second power play unit, and he's put up 10 points in his last 12 games, so pretty good month for him. Going over to Seattle, look at Ryan Donato. I know we don't talk about Seattle forwards too optimistically, but take a peek. He's listed as center left winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line and second power play unit, and he's currently on a 4-game point streak where he has 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Another Seattle forwards, Alex Wenberg, also listed as center left winger, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, and he plays on that top line, second power play unit, and he too has 4 points in the last 4 games. Going over to the Rangers, look at Ryan Strome. He's back from injury. Listed as center right wing, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second line with Panarin and top power play unit with Zibanejad and Panarin. He's, like I mentioned, back from injury, and he has 1 goal in the 2 games since coming back, and he's been pretty consistent with Panarin all year. Another Ranger forwards, Andrew Kopp, listed as center, left wing, and right wing, owned in 60% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second line with Panarin and Strome, plays on that second power play unit, and he's been really enjoying the Big Apple, throwing up 13 points in his last 10 games. Another new addition to the Rangers is Frank Vatrano. Listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 18% of Yahoo leagues, is playing on that top line with Kreider and Zibanejad and second power play unit, and he's put up 5 goals and 2 assists in his last 7 games. Go over to Columbus. Look at Jakub Voracek. Listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 44% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line and top power play unit, and he's been good all year. He has 8 points in his last 11 games played. Another one from Columbus is Oliver Bjorkstrand, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues. Down on that third line as they're juggling lines around, but still on that top power play unit as he's been all year. He's been pointless the last 5 games, but before that he threw up 10 points in a 9-game stretch. Going over to Colorado, a few options for you. One's Andre Burakovsky, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 59% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line with McKinnon right now, and second power play unit, and he's put up 4 points in his last 3 games. Another one is JT Compher, listed as center right winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second line, but also plays on the top power play unit with McKinnon and Rantanen there, and he's put up 5 points in his last 6 games. Another one's a young guy, Alex Newhook, listed as center left winger, owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second line and second power play unit, and he's currently on a 3-game point streak where he has 1 goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Finish it off in LA. Look at Adrian Kempe, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 47% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top line with Kopitar and top power play unit, and he has 10 points in his last 9 games, and has also fired 35 pucks on net in that stretch too. Another one is Philip Daniel, listed as a center, owned in 23% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second line and top power play unit, and he has 6 points in his last 8 games, and he's been a steady Eddie there, been pretty consistent all year for them. So now we'll jump to some defensemen that have 4 games this week but don't play on Monday or Wednesday. And we'll start off in Buffalo. Look at Mattias Samuelsson. He's owned in 0% of Yahoo leagues, so available everywhere. And he's been really sneaky good lately. Plays on that second pairing. He has assists in 3 straight games, and he has points in 6 of his last 8 games played. Going over to Detroit, look at Filip Hronek. He's owned in 16% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that second pairing and second power play unit, and he's put up 4 points in his last 4 games played. In Minnesota, look at Jared Spurgeon. He's owned in 59% of Yahoo leagues, plays in the second pairing and top power play unit, and he has assists in 5 straight games now. Over in Nashville, look at Matthias Ekholm. He's owned in 31% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that second pairing and second power play unit, and he has 5 points in his last 4 games played. Over to the Islanders, look at Adam Pelech, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues. He plays in that second pairing, and he's put up 6 points in his last 8 games. So really nice stretch for him. Over in San Jose, Erik Karlsson. He's owned in 56% of Yahoo leagues. He plays on that second pairing and top power play unit. And yes, he's put up 4 points in the last 7 games, but he's only scored 4 points in 2 of those games. He's either going to get you multiple points or a goose egg. So hopefully you hit him on the right stretch, and we're streaming on an off night. You never know. Another one is Nick Leddy in St. Louis. He's owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues. He's starting to get comfortable there, playing in the second pairing top power play unit, and he has 4 points in his last 5 games played. Finish it off in Toronto. Look at Mark Giordano. He's owned in 56% of Yahoo leagues, plays usually third pairing, second power play unit, and he's getting comfortable in Toronto now, putting up 4 points in his last 5 games, and in those 5 games, he's also had 9 blocks. Another one is his usual D partner, Timothy Liljegren, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues. He was a healthy scratch last game, so do check that he does make his way back in the lineup, but usually he plays in that third pairing, second power play unit, and when he's in the lineup, he's producing. He's put up 3 points his last 4 games. So now we'll look at some forwards that play 4 games this week, but don't play on Monday or Wednesday, and start off with Buffalo again. Tage Thompson, listed as center, left wing, and right wing. Up to 61% owned, so owners are definitely taking notice of him. Plays top line, top power play unit, and he's currently on a 4-game point streak where he has 4 goals and 2 assists for 6 points. Another one from Buffalo is Jeff Skinner, his line mate. Left winger, owned in 26% of Yahoo leagues. Again, plays top line, top power play unit, and he's tossed up 12 points in his last 10 games played. Finishing off the top lines, Alex Tuck, left winger, right winger, owned in 20% of Yahoo leagues. Again, plays top line, top power play unit, and he has 7 points in his last 6 games played. Has also fired 16 shots on net. Another one is Casey Middlestat, listed as center, right winger, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues. Plays in the second pairing, but also gets top unit power play time. And he's currently on a 3-game point streak where he has 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Last one from Buffalo, there's a few of them, is Victor Olofsson, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that second line, second power play unit, and he's put up 8 points in his last 6 games played. Finally, somebody not from Buffalo will go to Detroit. Lucas Raymond, left winger, right winger, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line, top power play unit, and he's put up 5 points in the last 6 games to go along with 15 shots on goal. Another one from Detroit is Michael Rasmussen, listed as center, left wing, and right wing, so you can slot him anywhere. Owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top line and second power play unit, and he has goals in 3 straight games, and he's put up 4 goals in the last 5 games. Another one is Jacob Vrana, listed as a left winger, owned in 24% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit, and he's put up 9 points in the last 9 games played. Go over to Minnesota, look at Joel Eriksson Ek, listed as a center, 53% owned, plays second line and top power play unit, and he's put up 8 points in his last 8 games played. Another one from Minnesota's Marcus Foligno, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 45% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that second line and second power play unit, and if hits are counted in your league, he's definitely one to look at. He put up 3 points in the last 5 games, so about 2/3 of a point per game. But in those 5 games, he's thrown 16 hits, so definitely worth a look. Go over to Nashville, look at Mikael Granlund, listed as center right winger, owned in 36% of Yahoo leagues, and he's put up 8 points in his last 10 games played. Another one is Ryan Johansson, listed as a center, up to 33% owned, plays top line, top power play unit, and he's put up 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 3 games. Another one should mention from Nashville is Philip Tomasino, just because he has been bumped up to the top line and he's been getting second unit power play time all year. So if you catch him at the right time, he definitely might be valuable for you. Go over to the Islanders. Look at Jean-Gabriel Pageau. Listed as a center, owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that third line, top power play unit, and he has 4 goals and 1 assist in just his last couple of games. Another one from the Islanders, Brock Nelson. Listed as a center, owned in 46% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on the top line, top power play unit, and he's put up 14 points in his last 11 games. Another one that's hot is Anders Lee, listed as a left winger, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the top line, top power play unit, and he's put up 10 points in his last 9 games played. Go over to San Jose now. One is Alex Barabanov, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line with Meyer and Hurdle, and gets second unit power play time. Yes, he's been pointless the last 3 games, but before that, he put up 7 points over a 7-game stretch there. Another one from San Jose is Logan Couture. He's listed as a center, only owned in 55% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the second line and top power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 9 games, so not a whole bunch, but in those 9 games, he did get 27 shots on goal, and Couture's been around enough, there's no way that he's not going to half-ass consistently produce for you. We'll go over to St. Louis. Look at Robert Thomas, listed as center right winger, owned in 49% of Yahoo leagues. So he's definitely getting noticed. He was only in the 28 range about a week and a half ago. Plays on the second line, second power play unit. He's currently on a 7-game point streak where he has 4 goals and 8 assists for 12 points. Another one from St. Louis is Brandon Saad, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 15% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line and second power play unit, and he's put up 6 points in his last 6 games. Another one's pesky Russian, Ivan Barbashev, listed as center, left wing, and right wing, owned in 43% of Yahoo leagues. He's been streaky this year, and he's on a hot streak right now, having 3 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 games played. Finish it off in Toronto. Look at Michael Bunting, listed as left winger, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues, plays on that top line with Marners and Matthew, and gets second unit power play time, and he's put up 6 assists in his last 6 games. Last one from Toronto's Ilya Mikheyev, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, has been playing recently on that second line with Tavares and second unit power play time, and he's put up 4 points in his last 5 games played. Do hope these ads do work out for you. We'll be out later this week with our waiver wire and weekend ads episode to also get you some pieces to secure that win. If you did like it, please remember to hit that thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and remember that notification bell so you get notified about future episodes. And good luck to all you fantasy owners out there.